Well, there's that theme song. The familiar theme song that means that hovering over us is the wonderful Michael Snyder. Hi, Michael.
Hey, hi, Alex, and listeners, and anyone else who stumbled upon this. It's Oscar weekend, and we'll get to that. But first, let's start with some clear favorites for not being nominated for the Oscars for 2020. Let's lead off with Birds of Prey, subtitled The Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn. I love the comic books. I love the comic book movies and such. And I totally enjoyed the recent DC releases, Shazam and Aquaman, and especially Wonder Woman. I wish I could be that excited about Birds of Prey. Margot Robbie's...
Wait, you forgot Joker in there. Joker's in there, too.
Oh, sorry?
You forgot Joker.
Well, yeah, Joker, but I mean, in terms of the DC extended universe, obviously Joker was a solid piece of work. But Harley Quinn, portrayed by Margot Robbie, is the Joker's Moll. That was the best thing about this misbegotten DC Comics movie, Suicide Squad, which concerned a band of super criminals forced to go on dangerous missions for the U.S. government. And with a lot of the praise for that one element of Suicide Squad, Margot Robbie, the powers that be decided that they should build a movie around Harley. Thus, we get this revision of DC's female-centric group of vigilante do-gooders with an anti-heroine Harley now in charge of a girl gang that includes revised versions of Dinah Lance, otherwise known as the Black Canary, here played by Journey Smollett-Bell, Helena Bertinelli, otherwise known as Huntress, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, Cassandra Cain, who actually in the comic books was briefly Batgirl, but is now known as Orphan, here played by Ella J. Basco as some sort of kid pickpocket.
She wasn't Batgirl, she was Batwoman.
No. She was Batgirl. Batwoman is Kate Kane. Don't argue comic books with me. I actually eat them for breakfast. But anyway, also Gotham City Police Detective Renee Montoya, here played by the peppery Rosie Perez. Now, their nemesis in the film is Gotham gang boss Black Mask, looking to get his hands on a MacGuffin that's in the possession of one of the birds. And Black Mask is a second-tier Batman villain, but here played by Ewan McGregor in total Nick Cage-level scenery-chewing mode. Sounds like fun, right? I don't know. Black Canary is actually black here for the first time in any version of the character. Her superpower is an ear-splitting canary cry. Look, this is meant to be mile-a-minute candy-colored hysteria with Harley in the center of it all, and it didn't work for me. I found Birds of Prey kind of shrill and overstuffed with little room for character development outside of Harley, who has an epiphany about dumping the Joker at the beginning of the film and decides to team up with the other women for, reasons. To be fair, the action sequences were a blast, especially in the final act. John Wick fans are going to get a kick out of the fights that I believe were directed by that movie's fight choreographer. The script, alas, didn't do it for me. Despite some humor that worked, a lot of it is about as heavy-handed as Harley hitting you with a mallet. And I got to tell you, the use of shrill is not specifically aimed at the Harley character, who I love on Batman the Animated Series and the current R-rated Harley Quinn cartoon and in comics, but I think a little of Margot's particular delivery goes a long way, and she narrates the film. I just have to say, I'm happy to see a female director and screenwriter helming a female-centric blockbuster, but they are not Patty Jenkins, and this is not Wonder Woman. Shazam did it better when it comes to character jammed comedy, and if you're looking for explicit violence and humor in a superhero movie, the Deadpool movies are hilarious, much funnier and well-constructed. Anyway, gender inclusion aside, props to Christina Hudson, the screenwriter, and Kathy Ann, the director. I wish this had been a better showcase for everyone's talents. Quickly, The Lodge is a nominal horror film that concerns two kids left to bond with their dad's new girlfriend at the family's remote winter vacation house. That's the Lodge of the title. It's a few days before Christmas, and Dad is called away on a job. And then a blizzard strikes, as do unpleasant goings-on with the now-trapped threesome. Movie historians would be interested to know that this comes from the new iteration of Hammer Films, which was the British company that produced a well-loved series of Christopher Lee, Peter Cushing Dracula movies and other horrors. This is I don't know, a few effective jump scares, a moody frozen setting, kind of like the overlooked guest house. That works okay, and what is actually a weird mix of thriller, horror movie, mystery, and psychological drama. The movie's clumsy setup makes the impending jeopardy obvious, which made me impatient, and it undermined any truly original take on the genre. Hard to be invested in the kids who are kind of creeps. On the other hand, Riley Keough, her performance as Daddy's, let's call her troubled girlfriend, pretty damned good. And it's the only thing about The Lodge that will really lodge in my memory. So you want to talk Oscars? What's what?
Well, I got a list of them here. I think we should go with two things. First, who we like, and then who we think is going to win. Okay? All right? Because I think that's the best way to go with this. Actor in a leading role. You got Antonio Banderas for Pain and Glory. You've got Leonardo DiCaprio for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Adam Driver for Marriage Story, Joaquin Phoenix for Joker, and Jonathan Pryce for The Two Popes. Who's your choice?
Well, personally, I'd love to see Adam Driver or Leonardo DiCaprio win because they gave complex performances, subtle performances that I think are the best work they've done in their careers to date. I believe Joaquin Phoenix gave it a bravura performance, but it was kind of all over the top for the most part, all high wire hysteria. And the subtle shadings of the other two actors' performances, aren't as flashy, but, that would take on it. What do you think?
Well, I would pick Joaquin Phoenix because I think it was a bravura performance because he is a guy who can do subtle if he wants to. But here he felt this character had to be this broad. I think it was a terrific performance. When I compare it to any of the others, I don't think DiCaprio was really the highlight of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And Adam Driver was good, but I think kind of low-key. And Jonathan Pryce, Two Popes, nah. And Antonio Banderas, I did not see in Pain and Glory, so I can't comment on him. I hear good things about it, however.
Oh, he's good. It's just that for me, again, subtlety goes a long way sometimes and shows the complexity.
So I think it's going to be Joaquin Phoenix is going to win it, and I would pick Joaquin Phoenix myself personally.
I think Joaquin Phoenix is going to win it. That's for sure. There's already the bellwether of the three previous award shows that award.
Okay. Let's speed this thing up. Let's not get into all the minutia. Actor in a supporting role: Tom Hanks, Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood. Anthony Hopkins, The Two Popes. Al Pacino in The Irishman. Joe Pesci in The Irishman, and Brad Pitt in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Who's your choice on that one?
I'd like to see Brad Pitt win it because I want to see the movie recognized, and he gave a great performance. Totally funny, charming, swaggering. Again, like I said, and like DiCaprio, some of the best work of his career. The other guys do what they do, and they do it well. But, and I think Pitt's going to win it.
I'm going for Brad Pitt, and I'm going for him also too. He's going to win it, I think, And just because he was in a film that you want to see recognized shouldn't be the reason that you vote for an actor or an actress. You vote for them because they were good in that, and Brad Pitt I thought was excellent. Very good.
I was just saying it would be nice for the movie to get recognition, and if this is the only way, okay. And again, my favorite of the performances.
Actress in a leading role: Cynthia Erivo for Harriet, Scarlett Johansson for Marriage Story, Saoirse Ronan for Little Women, Charlize Theron for Bombshell, and Renee Zellweger for Judy. Who's your choice, and who do you think's going to get it?
Well, I would love to see Cynthia Erivo or Scarlett Johansson win it. I thought Erivo gave maybe the richest performance of any of the five actors. Mm-hmm. Zellweger is going to win it. Again, the fix is in or something. She gives a good performance, but I have to say this, like Michelle Williams in My Week with Marilyn, I never bought Renee Zellweger as Judy Garland, despite how well she acted the role.
Mm-hmm. Well, I agree with you. My choice for Best Actress would be Cynthia Erivo. I just watched Harriet, as a matter of fact, and I'm sorry I watched it now. I wish I had watched it at the time I voted for the SAG Awards, because I would have given it to her. I think she is amazing. She's also on a current HBO show called The Outsider. But she's a terrific actress, and that picture is, if people haven't seen Harriet, you got to go see it. It's a great movie. But Renee Zellweger is going to win it for Judy, because when you do an impression of somebody, you automatically win the Academy Award. This
is an Alex Bennett homily that has been proved over and over again to be the truth.
Oh, there was a period there where, for I think 5 Oscars in a row, every Best Actor and Actress were portraying somebody, doing an impression of them. I mean, and I thought Zellweger was terrible in Judy, and I thought Judy was one of the worst films of the year.
I don't get it. Again, you don't want me to get into the minutiae, and I won't, but I'm just saying, yeah, she's taken 3 straight Best Actress awards, and I'm like shrugging, wow.
Yeah. Now, actress in a supporting role, Kathy Bates in Richard Jewell, Laura Dern in Marriage Story, Scarlett Johansson in Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh in Little Women, and Margot Robbie in Bombshell. Who's your choice?
Well, I'd love to see Florence Pugh win it in Little Women, because she does a remarkable thing. This woman in her late 20s convinced me that she was a 15-year-old in the early part of the movie, and she grows before your eyes on screen. And also, the Scarlett Johansson role is sort of minor in Jojo Rabbit, but again, it wasn't up to her work in Marriage Story. I believe Laura Dern will get the award for Marriage Story, and that's the bone they're going to throw to that particular movie.
I think you're right about Laura Dern. My favorite of the group is, in fact, Scarlett Johansson for Jojo Rabbit. Yes, it was a smaller role than it's about the same size role as Laura Dern had in Marriage Story. But I like Scarlett Johansson, and I love Jojo Rabbit. Just wonderful film. We'll skip cinematography, we'll skip costume design, and go to directing. The Irishman, Joker, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Who do you choose?
My personal choice would be Bong Joon-ho for Parasite. He juggled so many different elements of drama and comedy and made it a beautiful, coherent, entertaining, crazy, thought-provoking masterwork. The best movie he's made to date. And by the same token, I think Sam Mendes will probably get the Oscar, and I wouldn't be upset about it, because he orchestrated such a phenomenal, experiential blockbuster in 1917.
I would agree with you on that 1917 is probably going to take it, okay? And my choice is 1917. I think it's a master class in filmmaking, and I think probably one of the, not only one of the best films of the year, one of the best films of the decade, although this is a new decade, isn't it, already? So, but a great...
We'll give you a mulligan. We'll give you the previous 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's just, we watched it and we just said, this is amazing, just amazing. Documentary feature, forget it. Documentary short subject, forget it. Film editing, we don't have to do that. International film feature, here we go. Now, here's why I think Parasite isn't going to win for Best Picture. Is because they can give it to this category, international film feature, because Parasite is one of the nominees. Also, Corpus Christi, Honeyland, Les Miserables, Pain and Glory, and of course, as I said, Parasite. I think Parasite's going to win that one, and I would give it to Parasite.
I agree with you. My only caveat being that Les Miserables is a terrific film. It's a really, if you get a chance to watch,
here's what's going to happen.
Film about the action in the barrios, whatever the equivalent, like the slums of Paris, rockin' good.
But I'm saying that 1917 is going to win for Best Picture, and although we're going to get to that in a moment, but as throwing a bone to Parasite, this is the one Parasite's going to win.
Oh,
Okay.
I agree,
Yeah.
and they need to give them. This film is so good; it has to get something.
Yeah, then we go to original score. Who cares about fucking, movies, music anymore, and hairstyling, and I skip film editing because, I think that most people don't even know what we're talking about when we talk that. Okay, here we go. Best Picture. Ford versus Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite.
Despite my contempt for award shows in general, they chose really good movies for the Best Picture nominations. And, the only one that I wouldn't quibble with, look, let's put it this way. I believe 1917 is going to win. I'd love to see Parasite win. I thought Once Upon a Time was rockin' good. I thought Jojo Rabbit was one of my favorite films in the past few years. So, I'd be happy if any of them won it. I think 1917 is going to.
And I would agree with you that 1917 is going to, and it also would be my choice. Although I, again, like you, am mixed because Jojo Rabbit is just a wonderful film, but Marriage Story, nice film. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I didn't like when I saw it originally. When I watched it at home a couple of weeks ago, I fell in love with it. Okay, so they do have a lot of great films here, but I think 1917 is going to walk away with it. Let's see, production design, no, live action short film, sound editing, sound mixing, visual effects. Okay, here we go. Adapted screenplay: The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, or The Two Popes.
Oh, Jojo Rabbit, kaboom!
Yeah, kaboom! I think that's a shoo-in by what's his name.
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Hey, listen, he is my favorite half Maori, half Jewish New Zealand director, screenwriter, actor, and the best portrayal of Hitler since, I don't know, Der Fuhrer's face.
Well, since Dick Shawn in The Producers.
Good, yeah.
I think it's, if people haven't seen it, folks, this is just one of those wonderful films. I mean, it's just amazingly wonderful. And finally, original screenplay, you got Knives Out, which, by the way, I saw and really liked. Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. Who would you give?
This is a toughie. And by the way, since Greta Gerwig, who adapted and directed Little Women, has very few options, they might slip her that one for adapted screenplay. It's like the way the Academy works. But original screenplay.
Wait a minute. Adapted screenplay. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. As far as original, I feel like Tarantino's Once Upon a Time has a big chance of winning. Again, Parasite is my favorite of these, but the actual text of Marriage Story, Noah Baumbach's wonderful look into a couple on the verge of divorce and how it plays out. That was so powerful to me. But a lot of it is, I think, improvised along certain lines. I would say, I think Once Upon a Time may get it, and I'd love to see Parasite or Marriage Story get it.
Okay, I think Once Upon a Time in Hollywood will get it. I think they want to throw Quentin Tarantino some kind of bone here. I wouldn't give it to Marriage Story. 1917, it's not so much a screenplay. You know what I'm saying? Knives Out is a wonderful comedy, but I certainly wouldn't vote for it. So my vote's for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. So there they go. There you are. What?
Holy crap, we covered the Oscars. Hey, I want to say something quickly. We like to talk about television at the very end of the segment, and I just want to ask you if you've seen Jiri Haji, which is available on Netflix yet.
No.
BBC Two last October. The words Jiri Haji, Japanese words that mean duty and shame, and it is an 8-episode corker starring Kelly MacDonald and a terrific but previously unknown to me Japanese actor named Takahiro Hira as detectives from two different worlds and cultures. Hira's character goes from Tokyo to London to look into the disappearance of his brother, who had gotten in trouble with the Yakuza. In London, he meets MacDonald's character, and things kind of get crazy. maybe thanks to the London underworld. This is smart, exciting, surprisingly funny in places, and it's the most captivating policier I've seen since Line of Duty. If you get a chance, look into Jiri Haji.
Jiri Haji. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, that's it. We'll see how our Oscar picks do next time when we talk. It's Sunday night, and everybody will be in there in tuxedos, and so will Michael. Thank you, Michael.
You're welcome.
Tell them where they can find you.
Twitter at Culture Blaster and here on GABNet.
And we'll be right back with more GABNet on our 24/7 feed. Otherwise, catch this at GABNet.com.